love Matt's work. So,
hello everybody. Welcome to Writer's Stream.
you.
All right, let's see. We got some exciting stuff tonight. We got Dragon Warrior, I think.
Yep.
And for that matter, I've been hearing that some people have designs on maybe Dragonatrix.
I had an idea, but
maybe Larry and I should just get together and write something together. Maybe
See,
I don't know if you'd like the direction I want to take it in, but anyway.
I'm kind of bummed that Molby got upset with me and went off in a huff, because I think Molby and Lamont, like, I think that script could be magical, because Molby is very free to just do the Gonzo thing that John only wishes he could do.
Exactly. Yes. I dream.
Yeah.
In my dreams,
and meanwhile,
I wish I could do that.
Yeah, and John could bring a little more structure to it,
Yeah.
Like, because John is very, very structured, very like, we need plot, and I feel like you two could be like a pretty decent team,
The last I saw, he was about halfway through that book that he was working on.
The Press Knights or something?
Press Star Knights, yes.
The Press Star Knights.
That's what it's called now, yeah.
All right. Okay. Fair
enough. He did change your character quite a bit.
Okay. He's now an asshole.
No, he's still the same character. He just looks a lot different now. Yeah. Okay, he looks more like Prince Valiant now for some reason. It's kind of funny. But anyway, the comic, though, like the preview pages I saw were absolutely hilarious. Like, I get what he was going for now. Like, the script was a lot more vulgar than the pages actually turned out to be.
Okay.
But, it's still really funny. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so we have an electromagnetics laboratory. Now, I'm a man of science. I don't know if I told you this, but I'm
also a man of culture.
Yes, I'm a man of science and culture. What exactly would be in an electromagnetics laboratory?
A big magnet. Yeah.
I feel like it would be a big. I feel like it could be like they could be at a junkyard where the big they pick out cars. And this is an electromagnetics laboratory, you see.
He's got Tesla coils, so he's in the right area. So yeah.
My main objective is to get the story out first.
Okay.
And I'll figure out the science later.
Okay.
And
all right.
And I will use as much real world science as I can, and then I'll fake the rest.
Well, I would say, since we're going 1930s here, I would call it a physics lab, because I know what a physics lab is. And they do electromagnetic experiments in physics.
As well as other things.
Yes. All right, we need a narrator.
Fuck, I don't want to do funny voices. I'll do it.
All right, Dan. You can narrate, fine.
Interior Electromagnetics Laboratory. Night. The underground lab.
Oh, wait. John, by the way, if it's an underground lab, how do we know it's nighttime?
This again. Yeah.
We've never heard before and has totally been addressed already.
All right. Well, he keeps putting it there. I'm like, stop.
I know, and it's ridiculous, and it's someone else's problem.
All right.
Also, it is ridiculous. John, just remove that tag. What the hell?
There we go.
Fucking hate this. I don't want to hear from a scientist yet.
Exactly.
This underground lab has walls of cinder block. Cabinets and sinks run along one wall, while another features a large blackboard. In the center are two massive Tesla coils rigged up to an aluminum archway. The elevator reaches the lower levels. The delivery men open the cage and wheels out the crate.
Preston, why don't you do temperance?
How goes the miniaturization?
Not as quickly. I'll do that. Not as quickly as we had hoped. Larry, you're Julia when she shows up.
Okay, sure.
Temperance walks to the archway as the aluminum arches stand at 200 centimeters, which is not how people write that if they're not American.
Yeah.
The delivery men break open the crates, pulling out large, heavy magnets, cylindrical in design. They are about the size of a large Bollinger dumbbell weights, and very heavy. The men place the magnets into slots in the aluminum archway. Locker room. Click. Bang. The wall pops open for Julia. She pulls it open, looking down at the long elevator shaft. The light in the lab is barely visible.
Since you're confused, there's a hidden wall
behind.
Yes,
I do remember this from last time.
Yeah.
Okay, you do. All right, cool. Yeah, she just figured out the combination and got the door open.
Just the phrasing. To the side of the elevator shaft, the ladder goes straight down. And here's the thing, John. Sometimes you do write what we think you might be writing. Like if there's anyone on the screen who's likely to go there, it's you.
Yeah.
Go where?
I don't know. Vagina gun?
There you go.
I'm confused.
We got shafts and long shafts, but anyway.
Okay. So, to the side of the elevator shaft, a ladder goes straight down. Tightening the straps of her backpack, she leaps into the shaft, grabbing the ladder and descends it. Electromagnetics lab. Harper presents up a 30-centimeter diameter aluminum ring to Temperance.
The repulsion field on the miniature arc is not powerful. It's not as powerful due to the smaller magnets. We believe it will take even more power in order to maintain the same strength of the field that the arch does.
Elevator shaft. Julia steps off the ladder onto the top of the elevator. Kneeling down, she produces an Argus C3 camera and telephoto lens from her backpack. Slowly and quietly, she turns the latch, unlocking ceiling hatch, and slides it open.
Focus on your own job and leave the other teams to me.
Laying down, Julia pokes her head into the elevator and with the camera starts taking pictures. Camera point of view, Julia takes several photos of the archway, the men installing the magnets. She attempts to take pictures of the blackboard, but the angle of the camera obscures parts of the writing. Electromagnetics lab. The men finish loading up the magnets into the slots of the archway.
All finished.
Unless Dr. Harper has need of you, you are dismissed.
Yes.
Harper waves them off. The men start heading to the elevator. Elevator shaft. Julia bolts up, right. Grabbing the hatch, she waits. Elevator. The delivery man unlocks the cage.
Uh-oh.
Elevator shaft. At the same time the delivery man opens the cage, Julia pulls the hatch closed to disguise the noise. The three men load up pieces of the wooden crate into the elevator, close the cage, press the up button. The elevator ascends. Julia looks up at the ceiling closing in fast. She rolls to her back, laying as flat as possible. Preston?
Yes. I'm pretty spellbound here.
I like
it. I like
the elevator stops only a few centimeters in
John,
space
I gotta say,
being pinned to the ceiling.
I'm emotionally involved here, okay? So this is good.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with my delivery, so I mean, you're actually earning that.
Yeah, I mean, well, look, I'm claustrophobic, so
yeah, I feel
that. Yeah.
Anyway, elevator. The delivery man opens the cage, notices the wall ajar. They exchange glances, draw Tommy guns. The one.
Wait, hold up. I'm out. How do they have Tommy guns?
I mean, that's normal equipment you carry while moving crates, obviously.
Yeah, look, Tommy guns are real big, and they're pretty heavy. So
lots of bullets.
They'll have a duffel bag with them or something.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, sure.
I'll write that in. Duffel bag. They pull guns out of
You'll
duffel
write
bag.
that in, but you won't write out that the underground lab is at night.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Feisty
What?
mood
Oh, by
tonight.
the way,
Oh
by
my
the
God.
way, we have a question. Was the aluminum arc, was that inner diameter or outer diameter?
Ooh.
Pick one.
I'm gonna say
Does
inner.
it matter because it's diameter of a foot? It's hardly a ring.
Yeah, that's true.
Julia pushes the hatch open, crawling out from the small space above the elevator. Dropping back into the elevator, she removes the lens from the camera, placing both inside her backpack. She sits, kneeling, listening quietly. Not hearing anything, she pushes on the wall, slipping out. Interior locker room. Julia exits the elevator, pushing the wall closed. Hands pull the hammer back on a Tommy gun. Clack. Several flashlights illuminate.
Wait. Time out.
Hmm?
There's no hammer on a Tommy gun.
There's not one of those little side things they cock or whatever?
That is called a bolt.
Ah, okay.
A hammer is on a revolver.
It's the thing that goes.
And it's the thing that drops
Yeah.
to hit the firing pin to cause the pistol to fire. But a bolt is different. So that would be a bolt, not a hammer.
Okay.
All right, go.
Yeah,
Where was I? Illuminate on Julia. I'm glad you stopped me at a all caps word.
All right. Who's delivery man?
Larry, why don't you do... Oh, no, you're Julia. Preston, why don't you do delivery man?
Turn around slowly.
Julia turns around.
Who the hell are you?
Agent of His Imperial Highness Hirohito Showa, sorry. Yeah.
Shit, she's a Jap. Call down to Miss Dimitrov. Find out what she wants us to do with her.
Isn't her last name Hisu?
Yes.
She
Okay.
don't want to give her real name. People will create a thread on Kiwi Farms.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
It's doxing all around. Yeah,
There'll be all kinds of dog around.
Danny, there's going to be a... Do you want me to read? Because there's
No,
not going to
it's
be like
fine.
dialogue for a couple pages.
By the
No,
way,
this is a work thing, and people just call me at all times of day, and I'm just going to send...
Okay.
I'm managing a team. Hold on.
All right. As
He's
Johnny
right.
Torch puts it, Captain Kirk identifies the difference between a hammer and a bolt in a piece of the action.
He does.
There you go,
Yeah. That's a good reference.
Okay. Julia eyes the three men aiming their submachine guns at her. As one turns to leave, Julia throws her backpack at one of the men before diving off behind some lockers. One of the men opens fire. Bullets rip through the lockers. The men split up to cut her off, but upon rounding both ends of the aisle of lockers, find Julia gone. Julia lays on her back on top of the row of locks. As two of the men turn away and continue searching, she slips off the top of the lockers. As one of them turns a corner, Julia slides up behind him. Reaching up, she disconnects the drum magazine from the gun. Bang! The chambered round goes off. Gripping the drum with both hands, Julia smacks the man in the head with it. She hits him again as another of the thugs turns the corner. How many thugs are there? Julia throws the drum like a frisbee, hitting the man in the head, distracting him. Racing full speed at him, she leaps into the air, drop kicking him the chest and back, flipping onto her feet. The thug stumbles backward, nearly winded. The thug grabs Julia by the neck, choking her with one hand. Julia grabs his wrist with both hands, wraps her legs around his arm, and chokes him with her feet. The man stumbles forward at Julia.
Wait. Hold on.
On the end of his arm.
All right, hold on. All right, wait. Okay, so
You tried to pause me at chokes him with her feet.
yeah.
But I don't know what exactly you were reacting to, because there's a lot of crazy kind of shit going on there.
Okay, so
Wraps her
Julia
legs
throws the
around
drum
the
like a
arm.
frisbee, hitting the man in the head, distracting him. Racing full speed at him, she leaps into the air, drop kicking him in the chest. backflipping onto her feet. The thug stumbles backward, merely winded. The thug grabs Julia by the neck, choking her with one hand. Julia grabs his wrist with both hands, wraps her legs around his arm. So she is no longer standing at that point.
Correct.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and
She couldn't
chokes
be,
him
yeah.
with her feet. Yeah, she can't do that.
But the script says that she does do that, so clearly.
Well,
All
I mean,
right, so-
I get what he's saying though, because the arm is not in the
All right,
same
so
position as the
in
neck.
judo, this is
so-
what we call a flying
Julia
armbar, right?
doesn't
Yeah,
have prehensile feet.
Yeah, this is what we call an armbar. So yeah,
Yes.
or a flying armbar if your opponent is standing and you just decide hell with it and you just jump on them. That's what we call a flying armbar. But yeah, all right.
I didn't know there was actually a term for this.
Yeah, there's absolutely a term for that. Yeah, it's a flying armbar. But
Cool.
but you have all right. So the hands are here, right? And then you have feet, which usually, if you're doing a flying armbar, you're usually going to put your legs to brace against the shoulder so that you can put torque against the arm. But instead, you've got somehow the feet going to the neck, and that is not a move out of martial arts. I don't think that is at all practical. So I would encourage you to maybe reinterpret that scene a bit. And while we're at it, I don't know how practical it is that she grabs the drum out of the front of the thing. But I don't know.
That's possible, I guess.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
But wouldn't he? Nah. Anyway, thinking too much on this right now.
All right. So go ahead.
Yeah.
Once Julia's back hits the ground and shifting her hips rolls on top of him. Pulling his hand off her neck, she pulls down, snapping his arm at the elbow.
Flying
The man
armbar. There we go.
Cries out in pain.
Ow.
The first man turns, aims his Tommy gun. Julia dives away as bullets rip through the wounded man. The first man shakes his head, standing up.
What the hell? You got beat by a little girl?
She's like ninja.
I mean, she is a ninja because she just said she was Japanese.
I know.
Sorry. I'm trying not to be the peanut gallery here. It's quite difficult. The first man notices the second laying on the ground dead, picks up his Tommy gun.
I think you shot Bobby.
Shut up and help me find her.
I gotta call Dimitrov.
If you idiots could keep it in your pants, I might have gotten to the phone.
As the first thug turns a corner, he doesn't realize that Julia hides above him in full split, her legs holding her up as she holds a leather cord in her hand.
Wait, how did she get there? Wasn't she just here? Oh, she ran off. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
She ran off.
You're good. You're good. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Julia drops down on the man.
Julia drops down on the man's back, wrapping the cord around his neck, and her legs around his waist.
Oh,
The
yeah.
man struggles to get the cord away from his neck. He backs hard into the wall, winding Julia, causing her to release him. He turns, swinging a haymaker. Julia ducks as his fist hits the title wall. So, like, is that where your credits are?
That was a good one.
The impact cracks the tiles and shatters the thug's knuckles.
Oh, yeah.
Julia yells, punching the thug in the balls.
Ow.
He gets up, throwing him headfirst into the wall. The third thug turns a corner. Julia dives away as the thug opens firing, shooting the man, splattering blood across the wall.
Uh-oh.
Ah, shit.
He spins around the corner. Julia has disappeared again.
Uh-oh.
Climbing over the second thug's body, Julia field strips his Tommy gun, taking the receiver. The thug turns another corner, sees the second thug splayed out with gun pieces around him. Julia comes around the corner, swinging the gun barrel with both hands, striking him in the head. The thug goes down, turn his gun on her. She swings again, knocking it from his hands. She strikes him in the head a second time, and with the third, renders him unconscious. Julia drops the barrel, stepping backward, taking several deep breaths. Okay, can I pause here for a second?
Yes.
Sure.
Firstly, how many fucking thugs are there? Secondly, that poor second thug, first he gets shot dead, then she goes around a corner, takes his gun apart, and beats him with it. To death.
No, she beats the third guy.
Well, why is it always this?
There's three of them.
Confused.
Go ahead.
Anyways, okay. Exterior.
My only note was she doesn't need a cord to choke him.
No, she just needs her feet.
That's true.
Well, she has her feet around the waist. This is an existing martial arts technique that comes out of Sambo, which is you just jump on somebody's back and you wrap around them, and she can just choke them with her hands. I mean, if you want her to have a cord, that's fine, but the cord doesn't really serve much of a purpose in the scene. So
it doesn't. I was just trying to think of, how she's going to take on,
I understand.
I don't think it'd be any quieter or anything like that, but
At this point, she's not trying to be quiet. She's just trying to survive.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Julia, her clothes disheveled and dirty, exits the school. Stephen Gantz stands outside by a black sedan. Julia tosses him the backpack.
Clean up on aisle 3.
Julia, you know that's not how you spell aisle in reference to alleyways inside a building, by the way, John. It's AI.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aisle, the way you spelled it, is short.
An island. Yeah, but that's all right.
Okay.
It happens.
Julia gets into the back of the sedan, leaning back, closing her eyes. Gantz opens the backpack, pulling out the Argus C3 camera. Interior, briefing room, day.
Preston,
Gantz
Preston, why don't you do Gantz?
Okay.
Oh.
And Larry, why don't you do Orion?
Sure.
When he comes up, and I'll do everybody else.
Cool.
Wearing military dress uniform, addresses several generals and admirals sitting around a table. Behind him, a slide projector shows some surveillance photos of Malcolm Orion.
When the markets crashed in 29, nearly every stockholder in the world lost money, except this man, Malcolm Orion.
Exterior, Orion Industries high-rise, day. A black Chrysler Imperial pulls in front of an executive high-rise. A valet standing on the sidewalk opens the door as Malcolm Orion exits the vehicle.
Public records show he kept his company afloat through selling bonds held during the war.
As Malcolm approaches the front door of the building, another valet holds the door open for him.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Briefing room. Gantz presses the button on the remote, and the shift to an aerial photo of Santa Monica All-Girls High School.
And then, about 6 years ago, Orion Industries started a nearly $50,000 retrofit to the electrical system at his daughter's school.
Orion Industries elevator lobby. An elevator operator opens the elevator doors.
He claimed it was part of an initiative of advancing education into the 20th century.
Orion steps inside the elevator.
Good morning, Mr. Ryan.
Good morning, Mr. Michaels. How are the grandchildren?
Fine, sir.
The operator closes the door and turns a wheel. The elevator rises.
While the project ended 6 months ago, the electrical use during normal operations has remained stagnant.
Briefing room. Gantz presses a button, the remote changing the slide to a chart with a massive spike in coverage during the evening hours compared to daytime hours.
However, starting at around 2300 hours and going until 600 hours, static electric consumption goes up nearly 350%.
Electromagnetics Laboratory. An evil smile crosses Temperance's face as the Tesla coils fire up. Bluish force field activates within the aluminum arches.
Is this 7 hour period, this one building uses more electricity than half the city of Los Angeles in a 24-hour period? Now, that's a pretty bold claim, I just want to say. Like, that's a lot of electricity. Like half of
Well,
This
Los
was also
Angeles.
1930s.
Well,
Yeah, but you're also talking about half of Los Angeles.
I
Half
don't.
of Los.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I can't imagine their power consumption then would be the same as it is now.
oh no, not.
No,
So
But
still. All right.
Okay, moving on. Briefing room. Gantz presses the button showing a photo that Julia took of Temperance and Dr. Harper standing by the archway.
So we sent in an agent codenamed Long Fu to pose as a high school student and investigate.
Orion Industries penthouse. The elevator opens on the penthouse floor. Orion exits and is greeted by his secretary.
good morning, Mr. Orion. I have your messages.
and a word from Miss Dimitrov.
Briefing room. Gantz presses the button again, showing a close-up of Temperance. There is a brief murmur.
Temperance Dimitrov, head of special projects for Orion Industries, a savant in her own right, graduated from UCLA with dual masters in physics and mathematics at the age of 17. She took up the position when her father died a few years ago.
Huh.
Gantz pressed the button again, showing a close-up of the aluminum archway. The generals and admirals lean forward, examining.
What is it?
Honestly, sir, we have no idea. Agent Longfu observed them loading large magnets into the archway before she was interrupted.
The generals and admirals murmur and whisper to each other.
Our research and development contracts with Orion Industries does not show any device of this sort.
Sir, what are your orders?
Orion Industries penthouse. Orion and his secretary make it to the outer door of his office. She hands him several telegrams and letters.
Is your agent's cover still intact?
We believe so. The 3 men who discovered her were subdued. 2 are deceased, and the 3rd one is still being held in an undisclosed military holding facility.
One last thing.
Yes, Margaret?
Mr. Mueller has been on hold for nearly an hour.
Orion tenses up at the sound of that name.
Thank you.
Briefing room. The general leans forward.
Whatever he's building, we need to know what it is, what it does, and most importantly, who the hell he's building it for.
Interior. Malcolm Orion's office. Day. Orion stands by his desk, staring at the blinking light on his phone. He picks up the receiver.
Malcolm Orion.
How goes my research project?
Progressing, though we may not have a working prototype by the deadline.
That is not acceptable, Mr. Orion. We have invested $500,000 US. We expect results.
Yes, sir. I understand, but research and develop...
I don't care. Mein Fuhrer wants results.
Yes, sir.
Click. The line goes dead. Orion hangs up the phone. Groans.
Goddamn Nazis.
Hate them. Would want to date them. All right.
He hates the Nazis. Yeah.
He hates the Nazis, but he's in bed with them.
we had some action. That was cool. We had like some cool fight scenes.
Yeah.
We had elevators and arm bars and jokes and Nazis and a mystery being investigated by whoever this Gantz fellow is on behalf of the military that involves Julia as a secret agent. I can see where the plot's going. Seems pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, Larry, what do you think?
Yeah. Definitely like the pacing and the action and whatnot. That's nice. It's not, a bunch of people standing around talking about stuff, which is good. It's
not,
good to have a little bit of that stuff too, but you know, you got to keep up a little bit of action pace in it. But yeah, I do like the new direction of the story. I think it's a little bit more interesting than, you know, the police.
Previous 5 versions?
Yeah, the police sort of drama with the corrupt cops. Like that was okay, but I think this is a little bit more interesting. It's a little bit more speculative, you know, past science and whatnot. Pretty interesting stuff. So yeah.
Danny.
The action was successful. There were stakes. Goddamn Nazis.
You're always going to win Danny over that.
Yep. You is successfully a continuation of the stuff you shared with us last week.
There we go. Anything else?
I have some constructives.
All right, go ahead.
I'm disappointed that it's successfully a continuation of the stuff you shared with us last week.
Backhanded compliment.
I had high expectations for Gonzo that were clearly awry. Although I do like that it's obvious where the story's going, I actually really liked the corrupt cops mystery.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're on page 20 and have yet to establish that Julia is an adult and not a middle school student who is also a multilingual Chinese ninja.
From Japan.
Yes.
No, she's not from Japan. She is Chinese.
And also how her prehensile
but these guys are a bunch of white people living in the 30s that they wouldn't know the difference.
Well, and my question is, why is she speaking Japanese at all?
And why do they understand it?
And why would they understand that was Japanese?
Well, they didn't. They recognize the name. They know who Hirohito Showa is.
But wasn't she speaking in Japanese when she said that?
That's what it said, but...
Yes.
So how did they understand her speaking in Japanese?
They didn't, but they recognized the name. He's in the news.
Seems a little far-fetched. It seems a little far-fetched, but to me. I got
okay. I guess, yeah, okay, he would have been in the news, but
I'm just saying,
with these
if someone sends a whole string of foreign words at you, the idea that you're going to pick out, wait a minute, Hirohito. I mean, you know, all right, but
I know what you're saying though, and I don't know if a bunch of loading dock guys with guns would be that interested in what's on the news that day. So.
That as well, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Europe is at war,
and
America's
ninjas are from Japan, which is true.
They are.
This is true. Yeah.
That's a true fact.
That is a true fact. That's a true. All right.
Martial artists, though, they're all over the place. So, yeah.
But yeah, she is supposed to be Chinese. She's just pretending to be Japanese to fool them, to throw them off of.
Okay.
That was the idea.
To be in middle school in order to get access to the secret underground lab that
high school, but yes.
Okay.
She is an adult, but she is working undercover. She was recruited.
This brings me to the other constructive I had. What does she want?
I have it has occurred to me that she's not very active in issue 1.
Yeah. So that's a thing.
It is a thing. Yes.
She's fighting bad guys on behalf of the government.
Yeah.
She is fighting bad guys, but she's more of she's more being moved by the plot rather than driving the plot. So the question is, I guess my question. Well, I'll let you guys finish first.
Well, I mean, moved by the plot is fine. Like, Preston's about to go into production with a perfectly good fantasy story that starts that way, but definitely doesn't end the issue that way. So, yeah, but this is page 20 of 24.
This is the end of issue 1.
And yeah, what's she about in any way is like super unclear. Maybe if she was giving the presentation, she'd have a more active role. I don't know. So that action scene, like, stuff happened, but it was sort of draggy. I had a little bit of like bullshit, like dialogue, differentiate the 3 thugs. Let us know how many thugs there actually are from the beginning, because that was really.
I'm actually going to storyboard the entire fight scene. I am not scripting the fight scene. I am going to storyboard it.
Oh yeah.
Dialogue. Is there dialogue? Like, there's no dialogue in the fight scene.
There's no dialogue in the fight scene. It's literally just a 3-on-1 fight in a small enclosed area. So I am going to storyboard the entire fight scene. I'm not going to try to explain that in panels. I'm just going to do it and then give it to the artist and say, "Here, sketch it."
Just like there's 4 people. And no one's like, "Oh, watch out! She's on the lockers. Shoot that way. Go get her."
Yeah.
Where did she go?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Just banter, mindless chatter.
Something so you see how people are reacting to things, or like grunts, or like whatever for the combat. Like otherwise, it was pretty hard for me to keep track of what was going on and what was in the geography here, because we were in the school now. So yeah, like something to sort of break that up and give people something to say. And this is a comic, like this slows the reader down, lets them see the action better as well. So you get secondary benefits from doing that.
Okay.
Like, yeah, it's a story with something happening. There's double crosses and multiple factions. I know you love multiple factions.
Basically, yes.
So that's fine, right?
Right.
If you want to write it like a Marvel artist, then yes, that's what you do. You say
you go.
Black Widow fights for 3 pages.
Yeah.
And then they had to figure it out from there. So, yeah.
Exactly.
If I trusted my artist, I would probably do that. But
smart man.
Yeah.
Smart man. Yeah. Smart man.
It'll be better.
Never trust the artist.
Never trust it. Never.
Then you get Marvel books with copy paste panels. So,
because I have a program which I shall not name, which is really great for doing layouts and positioning characters.
Don't admit to a federal crime, okay?
And I'm going to design the layouts and give them to my artist and tell him this is how the fight scene's going to look. Draw it.
Okay.
I think that'll just work out easier for me. So, especially as my current artist, who I found out recently, I am talking to through Google Translate.
Oh, neat.
Fun.
Yeah, because he forgot to translate something, and he sent me a message, and I'm like, "Did you mean this for me?" And he's like, "Oh, I forgot to translate that." Like,
that happens.
Oh.
Like, so that's why you didn't understand the ethnicity of one of my major characters and why we're now 6 weeks behind.
There you go.
Yeah.
The struggle
stuff.
is real, man.
Yeah, it's all right. We're progressing.
You're a dog.
But it's my first book. You gotta learn these things.
Yep. All right. Any other constructives?
No, I think Danny got most of them.
All right.
Unless you got some.
I had a question. Actually, I had 2 questions.
Go ahead.
One of them was, so the exposition at the end is 4 pages. Did that feel either too long? Did it feel like it didn't work?
It's only too long if you. It's only too long if you don't need the information.
I mean,
so,
well, and to a certain extent, we kind of don't, because we've already seen the lab.
But this is kind of the characters. It's the introduction to Orion. It's a little backstory on Temperance. It's a little backstory on Julia.
But
that's
you
kind of
you could introduce them another way than having them discuss something we've already seen.
You mean like just showing them walk into the building with their name on it?
They
How
could.
Temperance doing?
Good.
Goddamn Nazis.
They could. Yeah. Yeah. They could be running around screaming "goddamn Nazis."
Or you could have the admirals explain the action as it happens.
Anyway. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
You mean intercut the?
No, just
the fight
have like one page of, hey, I'm giving this speech. Here's what we got, and then you just show it with captions.
Yeah. Yeah. You could do that.
What do you mean show it with captions? I mean,
well, you put
so you have one page, like caption. 2 days later, here are the admirals and here's the guy or whatever, right? He's got the slide projector, clicking the button. Our agent, whatever, racist woman named went to this school to discover what was going on. Click. And then you, as in the comic, you flip the page or whatever to Julia is doing this with that dialogue explaining what's actually happening while she's doing the thing. So it adds a second layer to the story. There's the literal story on the page, and then there's the meta story explaining the action and why it's important. Yeah.
So basically, intercut the.
No, you're not
briefing.
intercutting. You're just doing VO
while the action is going on.
Yeah. I mean, there's like not very much dialogue for any of that, so why not? You're gonna have space for it, so why not?
Yeah.
Then you don't have 4 pages of people sitting in a room hitting a slide projector button, which, I mean, it's thrilling comic art. Someone hitting a slide projector and showing us photos of panels we've already seen. So you avoid that problem. And illustrators hate doing that sort of thing generally. So it's more efficient. It might free up a couple of pages for more of the Orion scene or like whatever, and that can be a coherent scene by itself. And I think it should be, since he's the main villain. We don't know what our protagonist wants, but we at least can discover at this cliffhanger here that the bad guy is working for Nazis. So I mean, that's what you got to land,
right?
So you need people to actually get there and not get distracted by a ton of words on a page, showing us stuff we've already seen and telling us what we just read.
Yeah.
All right. Icebergs.
Oh,
Let's
boy.
do it.
Let us do it.
All right. Are we opening with icebergs, or is this a continuation of?
This is a continuation of issue 2. We're on
Okay.
page 11. I don't know. It's been a really long time since I've presented that.
And it's been a long time since we read it.
Yeah.
There might be some backstory you need to work us in on, maybe.
Well, yeah. So I've changed a few character names and stuff like that too along the way
Okay.
in rewrites.
All right.
Like Paxton is now Max, and I think that was the only. I removed a few characters from the table scenes, so
There we
it's
go.
condensed a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's face it. Like you.
I don't even remember who Paxton was, so that makes no difference.
Paxton was Preston, so I mean, it was pretty easy. Yeah, but no,
I've been removed from both the Preston Knights and now Iceberg.
I mean the lines are still the same, so I mean, like, yeah, you know.
The Preston Knights was by my request. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. So it was just a cautionary thing in case I wanted to go a little darker. So
I understand. I
Yes.
I appreciate that, sir.
Yeah.
Who is narrating?
I can narrate. There's a lot of like heavy dialogue parts for descriptions in certain parts. So, but there's a lot of characters too. So, I guess we could just divide them up. Issue 2 started. Juan had kidnapped a bunch of people, put them into a mansion, and he had them at gunpoint. Max's character got slammed against the wall, and he called for help from his knights. So that's basically where we're picking up at this point. So,
okay,
yeah. Anyway, so let's start with page 11, and we've got a large splash page.
We sure do.
Yes, and we're back at the Von Dongle Mansion.
Damn right we are.
Wide shot. View from the side of the table, looking over it. The captives are on the closest side of the table are in the foreground. The ones on the other side are in the midground, and Max is pinned to the in a crucifix pose on the wall in the background. Blood drips down from around his feet. Drips down from around his feet. There are 2 mounted Gatling guns on either side of him, pointed towards the captives. The captives react to the attack on Max. Doogie points towards the monitor, yelling at Juan. Snowpiece stands and reaches out towards Max, calling out to him in fear of his life. Zeke has a panic attack, his hands pressed against his forehead as he cries out. Tobias rests his hand on Zeke's shoulder, trying to calm him down, while also pointing at his other hand and yelling towards Juan. Karen Lena sits silently, looking in a compact as she fixes her makeup. That comic lady also sits silently, inspecting her fingernails. Peter balls up into a fetal position on his chair and starts rocking. The Shack stands up, slams both of his fists down against the table, making his dinnerware bounce as he yells towards Juan. And then we got all the lines that are in the same panel. So
I guess I'll be Doogie. You're going to hell, Juan.
Yes.
Max, are you okay? Talk to me.
This is not happening. It's not happening. Game over, man. Game over.
It's okay, Zeke. It's going to be fine. Are you crazy, Juan?
You insane incel bastard. I'm going to feed you your own ass.
There we go. All right, page 12, panel 1. Close up on Juan's face. The light from the monitors highlighting every wrinkle and line on his face as he looks down with a wide smile.
Now, if I have your attention, please.
Panel 2. View on the monitor in front of Juan. Everyone keeps freaking out and yelling, ignoring his requests, and an audible clamor of voices fills the dining room. Panel 3. Close up on Juan's face, similar to panel 1. Juan closes his eyes and grits its teeth.
I will not be ignored!
Panel 3. Inset. Looking down on the right side of Juan's keyboard from above, Juan presses one of 4 red buttons on an attached side panel and a number 8 on his keyboard's number pad. Panel 4, close up on one of the wall-mounted Gatling guns. It starts to spin. Panel 5, wider view of the gun as it starts to fire. I guess we should have put a sound effect in there, but whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah. Page 13, panel 1. Wide shot. A wave of bullets slams into Peter, throwing him out of his seat and out towards the table. Panel 1, insert right side. Close up, blood splashes over Carolina's face. She looks towards the viewer in shock. Panel 1, insert left side. Close up, blood splashes over comic lady's face. She looks towards the viewer, seems to enjoy it. Panel 2, wide shot from above. Peter's body lands in the center of the table, smashing dishes and food around him.
All right. By the way, I have a technical note.
Okay.
All right. The Gatling gun specifically refers to the pre-electricity 1861.
Okay, yeah. Chain gun,
hand cranked. So
yeah.
The modern terms we would call that a cannon.
Yeah.
Or So anyway.
Minigun.
Or minigun.
Or minigun.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Technical terms, but people know what it means. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Panel 2. Okay. Yeah. Smashes around. Panel 3. View on Juan's monitor. Everyone stops yelling and looks at Peter's body on the table.
Do I have your attention now?
Panel 4, wide shot. From the end of the table looking towards where the monitor is, Juan grins in excitement. Everyone looks up at Juan and nods.
Good. We are going to have so much fun.
Page 14, panel 1. Close up on Juan's face. His expression turns deadly serious.
I am going to split you into teams. If you want my forgiveness, you will have to complete a task, or you'll end up like Peter and Cecily.
Panel 2. Close up on Tobias. He blurts out a question.
How do we know you'll keep your word, Juan?
Panel 3. Close up on Juan's mouth as he flashes a half smile.
Well, if you don't, you're going to die right here and now, Tobias. So why not play the game? Live a little longer.
Panel 4, wide shot. Doors. 3 doors slide open upwards on the wall behind the monitor at the head of the table.
3 doors, 3 tasks, 3 teams. My choice.
Panel 5. Close up on Juan's face on the monitor. He smiles an evil grin.
Team 1, Zeke and Tobias, you take the left door upwards to your challenge. Team 2, Doogie and the Shack, you take the right door straight to your fate. Team 3, it's an uneven team of 3. Snow Pea, Carolina, and that comic lady, you take the middle door and do your task.
It's, page 15. Panel 1. Wide shot looking towards Juan on the monitor at the far end of the table. Everyone looks up away from Juan in different expressions of disgust and anger. Juan leans towards the camera, so just his wide smile is visible on the monitor.
Let the games begin.
Panel 2, wide shot, view facing Juan's back. He watches his new contestants file into their respective doors, his fists clenched tight on each side of the table.
Finally, all my planning comes to this. Nothing can stop what's going to happen.
Sir, if I could have your attention, we, might have, itty bitty wee, problem, as it were.
Alright, panel 3, wide shot, view in front of Juan. Juan in the foreground, he turns to look in the back corner of the room and yells in the direction of the voice. Surrounded by computers, a man sits at the back of the corner, a nervous panic on his face. See character, document for description.
What is it, Dennis?
A security alarm from outside, sir. Something is coming.
I just realized who that was.
Yeah. Thank you. You got the voice. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Panel 4, close up as Dennis looks down at the main monitor. A large shadow of a machine can be seen looming over the trees surrounding in front of the mansion.
Something huge.
Panel 4, wide shot on Max, his head hung down, still pinned to the wall and bleeding in the dining room. A rumble sound can be heard as the mansion starts to shake. Anyway, panel 6, close up on Max, blood-covered face. His eyes are wide open as he cracks a smile. Page 16, splash page, wide shot. A massive 30-foot battle tank crashes through the trees in front of the mansion, crushing Zeke's car in an explosion. The tank is painted yellow, bearing a resemblance to a Jawa sandcrawler from Star Wars. See reference images. Large.
Are you there? Larry? I'll read it. Large wings stick out of the side of the tank covered in guns and rockets. 2 large tank turrets are mounted on the sides under the wings. A large orange beak is mounted on the front under the main cockpit.
2 large tank turrets are mounted.
Your mic cord pop out?
Are you back?
Oh, sorry. My connection just went out.
Okay, well, you're back now.
I'm back now. Yeah. All right. So where was I?
Read the caption, I think.
Yes.
A large orange beak is mounted on the front of the main cockpit of their tank. A large red fin sticks out of the top of the tank on the front.
Right. Caption: Poultry Knight Super Dimensional Mobile Tank, Panzerkock 1.
I love it.
There we go. Yeah.
There we go.
Page 17, panel 1. Wide shot inside the cockpit of the Poultry Night tank, looking out towards the mansion. Motor stands in the front of the bridge, in his battle armor, looking down at it, his arms crossed behind his back. He barks out an order.
Warrant officer, turn signal. Cancel the front of that house.
Panel 2. Close-up of turn signal, main operations and weapons officer of the Panzerkoch 1. Description in the document. He taps his smartphone with both hands, looking directly at it while ignoring the order.
One moment, sir. I have to finish trading my stock. Huge jump in Bitcoin today. Wouldn't want to miss mining it.
Panel 3.
Bitcoin is not a stock.
Yeah.
And if you're trading it, you're not mining it.
Yeah. I was thinking that too.
Yeah, it's a joke. Panel 3.
It doesn't.
Well, yes,
it's a joke that doesn't land because it's not
won't
true.
land unless you can. Yeah.
Fine. I'll change it around. Close up on the motor as he swings around, barking his orders towards turn signal.
You fool! This ain't no time for Bitcoin bullshit. Fire now before it's too late.
Close up on turn signal as he rolls his eyes, placing his phone aside.
Fine, I suppose I could let my system at home mine the coin for me. Preparing to fire.
Back inside the mansion.
Wait, he was mining on his phone?
Yeah,
Yes.
I was thinking that too. No,
I mean, it's possible. Well, you're not mining Bitcoin on your
you're not
phone.
mining
There are
Bitcoin.
some. You can mine some cryptos on your phone, but not Bitcoin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Panel 5. Back inside the mansion control room, wide shot. Juan screams towards Dennis from across the room.
Arm the block wall now!
Panel 6. Split panel, side-by-side image. Close up on two different hands. Dennis and turn signal simultaneously punch their commands on two different consoles. Page 18. Panel 1. Wide shot. Rockets fire from the Panzerkoch 1's wing towards the viewer. Panel 2. Wide shot. A large metallic half-dome wall starts to shoot up in front of the mansion. Panel 3. Wide shot from inside the Panzerkoch cockpit looking out. Motor observes a wall of explosions.
Hey guys, I need to meet myself for a call. Sorry.
All right, take
Yep,
care.
no problem. Wall of explosions from his view outside. Panel 4, wide shot. Motor looks down from the cockpit as the flames dissipate, revealing a half-dome metallic wall protecting the front of the mansion.
Well, sir, looks like we have to shell this nut from the ground. Damn it!
Panel 5,
That's
wide
just
shot.
2 sentences.
Okay.
Oh, well, sir, looks like we have to shell this nut from the ground. Period. Damn it.
Okay.
Otherwise, otherwise it doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Just sorry.
Panel 5, wide shot. Motor turns and points down to turn signal on the main control deck.
Sir, get the hell out of my sight. There ain't no jive turkeys in our flock. Now!
Page 19. Excuse me. Panel 1, wide shot. Same view as the last panel on the previous page. Turn signal stands and starts to walk away, muttering to himself. Motor tells him off one last time.
Fine, but I'm out of here. Enjoy your Spurg war. I'll wipe and encrypt my record so no one knows I was even involved with this mess. Gotta cover your tracks. That's what I always say.
I ain't gonna miss that Tom Clancy bullshit. No, sir.
Panel 2. Close up on Motor's face as he barks out an order.
Warrant Officer Wheels, you're up on OPS.
Ops.
Psst. Operations. Main operations. Anyway. Panel 3. A woman in a wheelchair turns her head around to look at the ops station in front of the control panel on the back wall of the bridge. Description on the character document.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Panel 4, wide shot. Wheels takes her position at ops and looks down towards Motor on the command deck.
Your orders, General.
I'm taking a ground force of the best knights in. You will coordinate my assault. You will be in command of the Panzerkoch 1 till my return.
Panel 5, close up on Wheels' face. She nervously replies.
Yes, sir. You can count on me.
Panel 6, close up on Motor's face. He smiles up at her.
You'll do great, officer. I have complete faith in you. Try to find it in yourself.
Yeah, page 20, panel 1, wide shot. Back in the Von Dongle mansion control room, Juan is on top of Dennis, strangling him in his chair. Dennis grasps for air, trying to push off Juan.
You stupid fucking idiot! How could you not see a giant tank till it was right on top of us?
Sorry, cack.
Panel 2, closer up, looking down towards Juan from behind Dennis. A red light starts flashing on the wall behind Juan, next to an iron door, and a beeping sound starts pulsing. Beep, 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 beep.
What the fuck now?
Guess. Kachka. Yes.
Panel 3, Juan releases Dennis. Dennis falls back into his chair.
Finally, something good.
Panel 4, close up. Juan pulls a 9mm handgun from the back of his pants. Panel 5, close up. The iron door creaks open. Panel 6, wide shot. Snow Pea, Karen, Lena, and that comic later walk through the door, a look of horror on their faces. Panel 7, wide shot, point of view from the ladies. Juan points 9mm handgun towards the three ladies, smiling a creepy grin. Dennis is still grasping for air in the background on his chair.
Hello, ladies. In case you haven't guessed, you all get to play a game with me. Dennis, get up and go get Daddy's belt.
There we go.
It's worth it for that last line.
All right.
That was a hell of a cliffhanger, I guess.
That was.
There's still more pages too.
There are. I mean, I got.
There are?
Yeah.
There are. Did I cut us
No,
out?
No. They haven't been written yet. That was page 20. So yeah, there's still more pages in the comic. Is what I'm saying.
Got it. All right. Well, I mean, I like the tank. I like the tank was funny. I like the Panzercock. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
John, what do you think?
Some very eccentric, enjoyable characters.
Yep.
And, some shit was gotten blown up or almost got blown up, and
There was definitely some of that.
You went all Jesus Christ on Preston, so that was interesting.
Yeah, I noticed. I'm like a Jesus figure.
Yeah.
I was thinking I was kind of a Jesus figure lately. I don't know.
Really? That's what you're going with?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, going forward, I've kind of combined your character with Skinny's character, so
And we're both Jesus.
And you're both Jesus, yes.
We're both Jesus. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just in case he's watching, which I don't think he is, but
Okay. No, I don't think he is right now. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right, Danny. What do you think?
Well, as usual, I have no idea about any of the references.
Right.
I am like 75% confident that the Panzercock is funny.
Yeah.
The ending was funny. The beginning was like probably funny because it's been a while since I've been like thinking about this story, and I'm not particularly invested in it, so I would go to that. Seems like there's still like a reasonable over-reliance on visual gags, which, if I recall correctly, wasn't as much the case before, where there was a lot of it was in dialogue too, or in the action. What's his name? What's his name's assistant was written hilariously, but I think that was probably because I read the lines. And yeah, the stock in Bitcoin whatever joke, like rewrite that, make it land. That's the kind of thing that, I mean, everyone sort of knows that crypto guy or that Robinhood guy or like whatever now. So, like, that's a joke for everybody, regardless of any connection to any real people that may or may not be entirely accidental. So yeah, you're gonna have to rewrite that one.
See, I knew it probably wasn't right the way I was writing it, but the way I hear it whenever someone starts going on about it, it all just kind of jumbles together like that. So, but
You
anyway.
know a few people that are into that, right?
Yeah, that's exactly my point.
just
I
get John
don't
to
want
write
to
that
know
one
that. So, yeah, I don't want to know anything about it, which is why I wrote the joke. But
Well, but for the joke to work, you're gonna need to
I
talk
know.
to somebody that knows
Exactly.
something about it.
I don't know.
All right. In terms of constructives, all right. So, we're moving far enough away from real personalities, which is good. That reduces your liability. But now we just have a bunch of people who aren't exactly noteworthy, and I think you would do well to condense the number of characters down. Because, like, for instance, that Star Wars girl who we were referencing as that whatever girl, I mean, she doesn't really do much in this story. She just
Not
kind of
yet.
exists and is sent someplace. And I feel like if you cut the number of characters by a third to perhaps in half and work to make them more memorable, you would have a better story. You know, like Scooby-Doo is a comedy, and it revolves around, Scooby, Shaggy, Fred, Wilma. There's five characters. So, that's not to say 5 is magical, but I want to say in your story we've got probably 12 to 14.
What, is the good cast? Or
I mean, all right. So, I mean, how many characters were in those 10 pages we read?
Well, like 2 of them are out. So
Okay.
yeah, that leaves 7.
Okay.
Not
I feel
including
like there was more
Juan.
than 7.
Well,
Yeah,
including Juan and Dennis,
right.
but
Juan,
yeah,
Dennis, yeah.
yeah, they're the villains. So
they
Doesn't
count.
matter. They're characters.
They
That's the
count.
point. The point is
Yeah.
named characters. You have about a dozen or more named
I mean,
characters that
yeah,
we're
I haven't
keeping
even
track
got
of.
it into the Knights yet. So
Exactly.
So there's more to come.
Exactly.
Oh yeah,
So,
the fun part
Right.
about this is anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I feel like you got too many characters. I feel like you need to I feel like the story would be better if you gave me fewer, more memorable characters who had more identifiable traits. I mean, you've got Tobias and Zeke, and like neither of them said anything particularly memorable or funny in here.
No, they were more issue 1, so yeah.
Right. So.
But it comes back, so it's got to go in waves. We got to have disposable characters too. So yeah.
Well, all right, but these 10 pages, I feel like they weren't funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, that's my construction. Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead, John.
I will agree. I did not find them very funny. So going off of Preston's Scooby-Doo reference, the 5 characters all represent, or I shouldn't say they represent.
You need these.
Careful,
Demon
Preston.
boobs.
That's not YouTube friendly.
Demon boobs is what you need. There you go.
But they all have their own individual quirks and character. Like you've got the smart one, you've got the good-looking one, you've got, the ditzy one. So it's like they're more memorable because they each have an individual trait or quirk that we like about them that attracts us to them, and they, for the most part, stay in that character role through the story. You have a lot of characters here, and we don't really get to know all of them and their quirks, and they end up just becoming background noise. And it's really, really hard. So, and I think it would be beneficial to you to start creating composite characters and roll some of these quirks and character traits into compositing them and make them stand out and find, okay, this character has I'm going to give him these particular traits. So, and then you just kind of sometimes you have to pick, and I know that they're based loosely on real characters. So, and some of those characters may not react to a situation in the same way. So in that case, you might pick one. Well, how is this character is? Well, he's basically 3 different characters, so he could act in this situation in one of 3 ways. So I'll pick one this time, and then the next time I'll pick a different way. That also will help with your liability, because then you can't actually narrow down, well, this person represents this person in real life, ergo you are slandering that person because you are making up this farcical story that could be deemed as harmful or whatever. But if they're a composite character, it's a lot harder to do that. And composite characters is a very common thing that's done. Like when a novel is turned into a screenplay, that they frequently, one of the things that they do when they have to condense the story down is they start cutting characters. Well, multiple plot points have to occur because these multiple characters do something. Well, we're just going to combine these characters, and other characters then have to do that particular plot thing in order to drive the story. So I think if you look at it in that way, I think you'll benefit greatly from that. And I think, and I always would say, and I think I've said this before, but I'll say it again and then I'll stop, just lean into the tropes and the personality quirks, and then amp it up to 11, just to really get that comedic point home. And I think it could work that way. And yeah.
Danny?
Okay, I have an actual crit, but I wanted to jump off of John's point.
All right.
So what John suggested is one really good approach to get composite characters. Sort of lets you reduce the size of your cast and make everyone matter more. The other approach, have you seen the Ash versus the Evil Dead show?
No.
You should. That is much like Infinity War. I guess Ash vs. Evil Dead came first. That show is hella efficient. And that and Infinity War are both very efficient in the sense that there is a scene, there are people, the protagonist, Ash or Thanos, shows up, kills everybody, and then fucks off and never goes back there ever again. If you're going to have a billion characters who are less loosely based on figures to whom there may only be an accidental resemblance, then bring them in there, have them be caricatures, kill them, and move the hell on. Those are sort of the 2 approaches you can take. I feel like that was the approach you took in issue 1 when you had the transvestite,
Mm-hmm.
and that was fun.
I mean, most of these are composite characters. That's the thing. So it's not like I haven't done that already. But
yeah, so maybe limit your focus to like an episodic thing. Like, okay,
and I gotta say,
in
looking at Comicsgate right now, they pretty much can be represented by one Spurg. And you could go, that's Comicsgate right there. That's one Spurg.
I know, but
I mean, at this point, if you throw like 10 of them, the writings of 10 of them in a hat and pull one out, I couldn't tell you which one of the 10.
Well, that was Peter, but he's dead now. So I mean,
I understand. Yeah.
So, no, like I know what you're saying, but there are certain characters that are set up just to be there to do their little bit and then get off.
So
yeah.
Focus on that. Here's a story that's 4 pages long. Here's a story that's 3 pages long. Here's a story that's 5 pages long.
I still like.
That's one way you can do that really efficiently. My actual constructive is that I felt like there wasn't enough doxing, murder, or sexual deviance in this passage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's coming.
So you seem to have lost the plot with the style.
No, it's set up. That's what it is. But
as an excuse to have a Jawa sandwalker made up like a cock named Cock. So,
See, that's it's fucking
cool
hilarious to me.
but
yeah,
that's not what people bought issue 1 for.
nobody's
Or
bought
that's
issue 1.
not-
So
Well, I know, but
Yeah.
if people have read issue 1, they're coming back for, well, I want more of that. And a lot less, like, Preston cock joke.
I mean,
It is very well.
people have seen it.
I was going to say it's quite popular in certain circles. It is quite popular in certain circles, but
Yeah.
I have not seen it, and I clearly intend to stay on that side. But
There you go. Yeah.
So, like, I mean, weirdly, my note there is, like, pick a lane. Like, you had a perfectly good style of comedy that, like, got in and got out pretty effectively. You were really effectively, like, dialing up the crazy in a fairly gonzo way and putting that up to 11. And I'm thinking about, like, the weird Cecily confession scene from issue 1 and, like, the car scene with the Docs app.
yeah.
Like, all of that stuff. Just lean into it more and be like, like, what's your message here? Like, is it Preston has a big cock, or is it like or is it that the targets of your satire are toxic assholes? And it seemed very much like toxic assholes was the direction you were going, and now we're in cockland. Sorry, I'm gonna just keep saying that because
You're not offending me.
It's funny.
Well, Preston, I was going to say, since the art that you showed us contains aspects that are clearly not intended for children, he said sarcastically.
That's right.
Because nipples are literally intended for children.
They are.
Whatever, America.
they quite are. They quite are, aren't they?
Quite literally are specifically designed for children.
Yeah.
Anyways, so, like, as I'm hardly swearing here, anyways. Yeah, like,
YouTube doesn't care about swearing. You can't show a tit, but you can say anything you want.
and yeah, man tits are totally cool because America. Whatever. Anyway, so yeah, like, Larry, like, what is it this passage is saying about the target of your satire? Is a question that I think helps answer Preston's constructive of this stuff just not being funny. Because, like, what are you saying about these? Like, this is a comedy and you're punching.
Right.
And you're punching up. But what are you punching? And I think, like, once you can answer that question, you've got a pretty good place to be. Or, just start murdering people and make it bloody.
That could work.
Right? Like, just have it be hella violent. Oh my god, Comicsgate has become a feeding frenzy. Get out, get out, get out, get out, get out. Okay, end of story, bye. Right? So either you're saying something about these people or you're saying something
zombie
about
virus. They're all just zombies eating each other.
Oh, zombies are lame. They're overdone.
They're just zombies eating themselves.
Yeah.
They're not even bothering to eat each other. They're just like Ouroboros-like. All of them just eating their own feet in something like that, and then take a bunch of acid and then write it as though you were moldy.
I love it. Yes.
Oh, I don't know. I thought the giant fucking tank showing up was pretty moldy, but anyway. Well, yeah.
I mean, if that was page 2 and then it got weirder, then maybe. So, like, yeah, that's where I'm at with constructive. Like, it's not bad, but it's not, I think, doing what you intend for it to be doing.
Okay.
All right. Another week down.
All right.
Well, next week we'll have some more scripts. Hopefully. Maybe some more Dragon Warrior. Perhaps some more
Yeah,
iceberg.
Maybe there will be a dragon eventually.
Maybe there'll be a dragon in it. That might be cool. God, at some point I need to write Guinevere and Gatsby. Put that on my to-do list. But that's way off. I gotta finish writing D&D shit first, and that's gonna be a while. And then that's not stuff I can present. I can't go. Here's the dungeon I wrote. Because it's not really audience friendly, but I think it'll sell well. Anyway, all right. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. I will see everyone next week.
Okay.
Bye.
good night, everybody.